Sorry, I didn't hear you there, Leon. But anyway, we are live at the moment. And for those of you who are joining our regular platforms, either on LinkedIn or YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you're very, very welcome. If you know that we normally broadcast from Stockholm in Sweden on most lovely evenings. There are no bad evenings in Sweden. But so today we have relocated. We not only have it still on a Thursday, but we have it much earlier. And so it's going to be a little bit busier today with a couple of broadcasts, all sort of tucked into one, as we not only talk a little bit about GreenTech and what it stands for and what it means and why Learning Academy Worldwide is here, but also very specifically focus on our guests to introduce them and show and let you hear a little bit about their story. We also have a special guest. We have two guests from South Africa that's joining right now live from Amsterdam, but we also have one guest that flew in from Australia, not to be here specifically for us, but we've been able to source his interest in what we do. And I am particularly interested that he, as a guest, can hear a little bit from you, Lillian, and from Leon, what you are doing. So we'll be joining a little bit shortly, just another couple of minutes, and we'll be going live. The music that we play always is the music of Andre de Lange, and one of the things that I enjoy about him is that sense of meaning and purpose. And I like this particular song, the whole sense of being here instead of being alive. I like that.
There's a way that seems alright sometimes, but the end can be addressed online in disguise. Had my share of bad choices, broken dreams, disappointments. Through it all, the makings of a man. As I look back on my life story, and I see where your love has brought me. Hallelujah, I'm alive. Hallelujah, I'm alive. Don't know what tomorrow brings. Shall not fret nor fear within. 'Cause I know on solid ground I stand. Will lift my hands up to the sky. I will shout 'cause I'm alive. I will dance like David did before. And I will not take life for granted. 'Cause now I'm living the life I've always wanted. Hallelujah. I'm alive. Ooh, yeah. I'm alive. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very, very welcome for those of you who've just joined. Thank you so very, very much. Dan, thank you very much to you for being here. I really appreciate that. We have just recently met, so thank you so much for making time for this. Are you excited to hear a little bit from more South Africans than myself? Let me just bring you up there. Just a very, very brief, can you do it in 120 seconds max? Introduce yourself.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
So I'm Dan from Australia, and we're hosting an international event on AI in controlled environment agriculture
Mm.
next year in May.
Yes. And that's going to be a big part of the conversation here as well. Big part in the sense that I would say that both Soneca High School, which is the high school that will be represented by Leon Hanslow very shortly, and Lillian, who heads up a very intriguing, innovative solution, both of them should be invited, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Leon, pack your bags. Lillian, pack your bags. We have a
Okay.
year to get. We got a year to get there anyway. So I'm very, very fortunate. Leon Henslow in Cape Town and Lillian Masabenza both in Cape Town. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. This is very, very special. Thanks for your time. So let me start with you, Lillian. Just a brief introduction. Um, who you are and what brings you to this moment.
Hello. My name is Lilian Masabenza. Um, I am a retiree, but very busy doing urban agriculture in communities just to make sure that there's food production. And I've met up with Theo, and very much interested in what is happening in green tech and green economy.
Fantastic. Thank you so very, very much. Leon Henslow.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Leon Hanslow, Deputy Principal at Soneca High School, also the project coordinator for a project called Sustainable Agriculture in Urban Areas. We'll probably say a little bit more about that later, unless I'm allowed to continue with it now.
No, thank you so much. That's very good. We've just lost Lillian, but I'm sure she'll come back if she follows the link. There's always a technological glitch. Now, Leon, let's stick with Sonic High School. Schools have always been for me the sort of seed beds of our future. Where it's supposed to be happening, and so I appreciate the fact that you are here with us today. And so, tell us a little bit about that agricultural side of the school that you are particularly very excited about, and not just briefly what you do, but why it is that it's so meaningful.
Well, we try to uplift our standard in maths and science, and then the way we wanted to drive us is to do what they refer to as experiential learning. So we use the agricultural fields to get our learners outside, understand the soil, measure data in the soil. Although it be kind of rudimentary, but it's important that learners understand how to bring maths and science alive. And out of that has grown, even after COVID, has grown this need to produce things organically. We're starting, well, we're not starting, we try to do regenerative agriculture, permaculture. There are so many words out there, and understand our contribution to food sovereignty. And in doing that, we hope that that would be our contribution to what is called our climate ticket. We try to not just try, we are currently getting our learners involved and engaged via agriculture to have a greater understanding how they can become custodians of the earth. Yeah, that is in a nutshell. A lot more, much deeper, little projects, side projects, and then also right now we have extended the program. So we're also building food gardens in primary schools because it's so important to export what you think you're doing well and doing right. We are running 2 or 3 food gardens in primary schools, and hopefully by the end of 2024, we should be in at least 2 or 3 other more primary schools. And that is, if we, like you said, it's a seedbed of learning is our schools, and where better to start than in a primary school.
That's fantastic to hear, right? Dan,
Absolutely.
what is your first sort of response when you
Well,
hear that?
I guess my curiosity is piqued when I heard urban farming. I was wondering, Leon, can you tell me about some of the more promising projects that you're currently working on in that area?
Uh, when Because we are situated in an urban area, and we have this tendency to say farming should be in a rural area. Not necessarily. If we look at greenfields, brownfields, government-owned land, that there's nothing is happening. Tracts of land that ends up being acres and hectares could be converted. The big thing about agriculture, it's a business, and businesses will drive certain margins, and those margins can cause food insecurity, costing, transportation costs. And if we can start cutting into that and put a bit of a more humanistic edge to farming, whilst make it sustainable, we could do a great service. The big question is, it's got to have food sovereignty in it. There's got to be a choice. It's got to be healthy, and we need to understand how we should do this organically. It is about the health of our people. In a previous conversation, I think with Theo, we talked about our current health bill, from diabetes to all kinds of diseases that wasn't part of the third world before. And now, because of the change in our food and the manner in which we eat, our health bill has gone through the roof. And going back to organic eating and regenerative farming, we can actually make more money out of just decreasing our expenditure on keeping our people healthy.
That's fantastic to hear, and I'm glad you asked the question, Dan, about the an urban example, so to speak, right? So I'm glad you did that, because Lillian, now Leon, this is also a really good opportunity for you to meet Lillian because I
Yes, of
think in
course.
a way there's an enormous connection between what you do. So Lillian, that same question about urban farming, I think what you have done addresses and answers part of that question. Do you want to share what you do and why it is that you do what you do?
Yes, I'm also into urban farming, as Leon has explained. Just to expand on that, urban, why? Because the people are coming from the rural areas, they come to the urban setting hoping to get jobs, and it doesn't always happen. So they find themselves, they are sitting here, they are unemployed, and they are having chronic hunger all the time. So my thing is to say, how about learning some skills so that you can use that to produce food for yourself? You don't have to have a huge space. We have created what we call the African grower, which is a small tunnel in a way, except that in its verticalness, it has 4 baskets, and each of those baskets plant 6 leafy vegetables and also herbs, and you end up with 24 of those. And in 2 weeks, you are able to harvest. The second thing is just what Leon has said, because we find that we eat a lot of other things that we don't intend to eat in the vegetables that we don't know how they were propagated. Here we are propagating organically, starting from the seedlings that we plant, going to planting, and teaching the people so that they can take that skill and take it forward. We have a lot of survivors of gender-based violence, and I'm very close. My heart is close to that, including people with disabilities. So this African grower help us in this urban setting to be able to have people with disabilities sit in their wheelchairs, be able to do gardening. We started in a community setting and a primary school. Now they've even been invited by another principal of another school to say, please come and show my people in my community, my school, my children. And for us, that is a huge thing, that people with disabilities could be the one that show us what to do. Because in this urban setting, we can't sit and wait for land. It's very difficult to get land. And then also, it's very difficult for people to go into the commercial setting because that's a cutthroat kind of business there. Whereas here, I say it's 3 things. They get skills, they also get to eat well, and then they generate income. You can't take away that from the people once they have that. We have a lot of MRD TB. That is the TB where the medication, the drugs are no more effective. So people get discharged from the hospitals. They come home with the hope that they can go on recovering, but they don't because they don't have food. They don't take the medication on an empty stomach. And that way they reinfect themselves or reinfect those around them. And then it just becomes an ongoing something that could have been prevented. So
So,
when we
so
talk about,
go ahead.
yes, when we talk about this urban agriculture, that's what it's all about. And at the moment, I'm busy studying with the University of Cape Town, their business school, just to see how can we increase this instead of sitting maybe waiting for land that we don't know when we'll get it, especially around the vulnerable groups, which is your youth at risk, which is your people with disabilities, which is survivors of gender based violence, which is also very rife in our communities.
I appreciate that because it's just such a gel, a lovely set of, can we call it, important ingredients in dealing then with that complexity of migration from the rural regions to the cities. Would you agree that what Lillian has captured here is a sort of multifaceted set of solutions for that those urban needs?
Yeah, look, it's produced food right at the source and teaching skills right at the source as well. So it's really a community farming. It's urban in urban regions, but from the community for the community. That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah. And so, Leon, certainly that gives you a little bit of a new angle that maybe some of the students from Sonica could look at Lillian's project as a brilliant case study of urban farming.
Of course, yeah, it makes perfect sense. We had a conversation yesterday with one of our educational specialists, and we were talking about
Mm.
exporting the idea of uh, uh, door gardens, where virtually you need a piece of land the size of a door to just grow food on. We need to start, we need to explore possibilities that doesn't have to be hectares and hectares, but we need to export it into households, into communities, into informal settlements. We have the ability to take the ideas. There is a bit of expertise building up over the years. There are people around who know what they are doing, and those people need the support because they will export. It's about exporting good practices and what is already established and what is done well. Sometimes people need to just get a little bit more information. We're thinking of hosting uh, schools that has got agricultural science where the teachers don't know how to farm or field, and those are valuable skills. And since we have quite a crack as a horticulturalist, we are going to look at to inviting people around to just, and then of course that synergy, the things that Lillian has mentioned, from farming to health, from producing to health, that's a synergy we cannot kind of treat lightly. It is so right.
Fantastic. Good word, synergy, working together, collaborative. Now, on the sort of side of getting the word out, I just want to say Dan is going to need to go, but he's most likely going to come back at a later stage. I'm not so sure if we'll still be online. We'll see how well we do on time here. But uh, Dan, just before you leave, what's happening in a year's time in Thailand that you think we can benefit from if we are there?
So 6th to 8th of May next year in Bangkok, Thailand, the first global conference and exhibition focused on AI in controlled environment agriculture will be held. It really is an international event. We just happen to be locating it in Bangkok because it's central for the Asia Pacific region. But we do have a lot of participants from Europe coming. NASA is getting involved. So please do look at the link that Leon will provide to our website. Register. You can attend the exhibition for free, or you can purchase a super early bird ticket for the main conference. We're also doing some work with the local universities that Leon and Lillian, you may be interested to know a little bit more about. So please send me an email as well, or reach out to us on LinkedIn.
Great. I've just put that little information up on the screen, but I can certainly share that both with you, Lillian, and Leon, to sort of expand and add a little bit more. It was good to have you here with us. I know you have to rush off to meet the King of the Netherlands, and we appreciate that you talked to us first and then the King. That's good. You got your priorities straight there. So we appreciate you, and Learning Academy Worldwide. I think our first inclination after connecting is that we are very, very interested to be a link, to be a conduit for between what's happening in March next year, May next year, and the partnerships that are growing in South Africa, both with the school Sonica and certainly with Manijinji, and then of course Nelson Mandela University. And so, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate that. And I'm going to get another guest in here. And while I do that, I'm going to be playing some music a little bit in the background. So if you could just hang with us there, please, Leon and Lillian, do not go away.
The earth gives life, sustaining every need. Just like a mama, you clothe and you feed. From dawn to sunset, from winter to spring, you seem eternally always there for me. Yeah, to my mama, don't you cry. Suja as time goes by. Tembele, war by war, Sinto so I've always known to us your heart belongs. Now I know through your love I've grown so strong, so strong. You've taught us the power of song over pain. You're an icon, and where is your face? Don't you get so just as time goes by? Tembele, mama, Sinto se.
It's potentially possible that you may so if you don't see yourself on the screen, don't worry, I still have you there. So I wanted to just show you what it looks like around us.
abantwana bakho. Siyayazi ukudala uphethe umthwalo yakho. Khula mama.
Don't you cry. Such a fool as time goes by.
So a very, very warm welcome to this lovely morning here in Amsterdam. It is a lovely morning. It's supposed to be a lovely morning because we've had loads of rainy mornings here. And so we are thankful that the weather is looking a little bit better. We are connected to a few folks here this morning. South Africa is very, very represented by Leon Handlo and Lillian Masebenza in Cape Town. I just want to bring them up here. I have in the studio just of what we are doing for the social media platforms. Thank you so very much for the time to come and speak with or join us and conversation on what can only describe as innovative and also the non-profit environment. And I have a guest here with us this morning that Mitchell, I just want to explain to you before you introduce yourself that Lillian Masebenza, who is the founder of Money Gingy, we've we also have but Leon is also very, very responsive, stimulating, igniting. I feel that that's a really hard work. And so I have another few questions, and I want you to enjoy listening to this grand example of greatness.
Thank you.
So, but introduce yourself a little bit so folks can know who you are.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Theophilus. So my name is Mitchell Mahachi, and I'm from Zimbabwe. PhD student in Germany, and I'm working looking at of vertical farming within cities in Africa.
That's very well stated, actually. Is that a whole idea of public acceptance? So struggling here with internet connections, and I think I know the reason why. So let me just fix that. Get my good brother Andre De Lang to sing for us in the background.
The shadows where you cry and suffer with no food to eat. Nowhere to go, no one to talk to when you're lonely. Why should you believe? Heavy burdens on your shoulders, no salvation, shows a faithless smile. And everything you touch and everyone you know has let you down. Although the tears you've cried, it's time to wipe your eyes, 'cause you're one in a million, and no one can take.
Yeah, I like this song, One in a Million. Lillian, I think you are this. And I think
I was trying to eat left and right. Thank you.
And Leon, in a way, you are that as well. And I can assure you, the more we connect, the more you will appreciate the music of Andre de Lang as uniquely depositing warm, affirming, value based ideas into the civil dialogue. Music is so
Mm,
crucial. And
it is.
he's a South African born Swede. And so we both have lived in Sweden for combined probably 5 decades. He's been there
Okay.
longer than I've been there. But and so it's always valuable. And so this song about one in a million does speak about the value we need to place on one individual, and especially if this individual have a little bit more of needs than the rest of us would have. So, Andre, if you're listening in, thank you for the music, brother. Thank you so much. Let me get back here. Uh, Mitchell was just dropping a sort of phrase here, public acceptance. So, Lillian, I want to just start with you. What has been the uh, warm, affirming responses in terms of accepting what you are doing? And I want to ask this very specifically in relation to the general public.
Hello, Mitchell. When I hear Mahanchi, I wonder whether maybe you're of Shangan descent. I am Shangan as well. Nice to have you around.
Thank you.
Yes, it is quite an interesting concept that public acceptance, because if the public close up, then a lot of good things are being closed out. So I must say, in my case, when it comes to the general community, there's a huge acceptance because they see what it does for them. For instance, I mentioned this African growers. We distributed over 200 of these African growers into over 200 households. And they keep phoning and say, oh, we are enjoying those vegetables. Oh, we could sell this. Oh, we have started a soup kitchen. The people that I was talking about with disabilities. It was so humbling that during the COVID-19 lockdown, because we could not be locked down, we provide food. So we had permit to drive around to give people food. It was these very people with disabilities who were there to supply food, warm food to children who didn't go to school, to the communities. And when you look at it, these are the people who could have said, oh, we have comorbidities, we have diabetes, where some of them didn't even have both limbs, the legs, but they were there. They will put their pot on the wheelchair. They will go down the street. They will feed. So for me, that was the most public acceptance that you can get. Unfortunately, sometimes in the arena where maybe it should be more, where you'll have to go through government this, government that, and the other thing, and then it retards the process because you end
Yeah,
up with a lot of things that you have to go through. But
yeah.
even there, they also accept what we're doing.
It's Lillian. It's the reason why I talked about the public. you know, um, because it's the public that it's all about. It's the people that it's all about, and the public's
Yes.
acceptance should become the standard
Mhm.
of
Mm.
adopting something that's innovative and new, and not the policymakers. And the policymakers and the lawmakers should consider the needs of the people at large to determine which direction they need to go and what should be acceptable. And so it's
Yes.
it's probably accurate to say that in most cases, public acceptance have taken a backseat to adopting new solutions because simply there are just too many politicians in the way. If we look at the public at school and we say that the public at school would be represented by the students and the teachers, Leon, what's been the acceptance like of exploring new ways to teach agriculture?
uh, both. A lot of people will prefer what they know. Change is not automatic. A lot of people still prefer what they know. But you do have people who think innovatively, who love the space. You will find greater acceptance from people walking onto your site and understanding where you're going. And they absolutely love the idea that we say, let's take this classroom outside, not for a lack of facility, but let's take this room outside. Let's learn in the open air. Let's go back to how we used to learn. We used to learn from the land, and then we try to do that. Our public acceptance in general rests on a lot of things. We have to present us as a school, so it's not an individual only. That has been extremely positive. The community around where we are they excited? They love the school. They see things happen. Of course, what you do, you also stimulate a sense of discipline and responsibility towards this place we create here. We've changed the whole aesthetics around, and I have seen the presentation you probably saw. So everything is important. Everything you touch, when you touch the land, you make it better, you make it pretty, you make it good. There must be a feel good too, and out of that you grow food as well, which is, you can't say nobody will not accept the ability, the fact that there's food being created or propagated or grown and produced. And with food, we learn, we collect data, we collect things, we understand the world better. And I mean, I have alluded to all these previously. So yes, inside, as an immediate role player, the school and the school community by its educators and its students, and outside, where the school is part of the community, we have to be relevant to our community. Schools can't operate in a vacuum and not add that value. That value cannot be added when a child goes to university and hopefully will come back and plow into the community. That school itself must be relevant to the needs of the community while it is operating. It cannot just be a place of learning and examinations. It's got to be a place of giving.
And I would venture to say that the model that you are communicating is a model that should be adopted. So what should have been normal sort of has become the sort of unusual part of schooling. And so that line that you dropped, let's take the classroom outside, Mitchell. I mean, when Leon speaks like that, what is your first response to that? Let's take the classroom outside.
A very important step. So if we are looking at public acceptance and we combine the two, so we have the children that are going to grow up to be adults. And if they already have this feel of the connection with agriculture and the innovation, then it becomes also even easier for the general public to accept because it's something that they are actually familiar with. So I think it's very important that it also starts within the schools. And it's unfortunate, like you say, it's now it looks like it's the exception.
Where it should be the norm.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's very, very valuable input there. And if you've just joined us, very, very welcome. We are on the sort of conclusion of this particular section. We'll be back on the air in about an hour and a half again. But we are in communication with Sonneke High School, which is a high school in South Africa, in the southern part. So this is in a province called the Western Cape. And in this particular province, this high school serves a community, providing learning experiences that do two basic things. Number one, knowledge acquisition in the space of agriculture, and then a set of skills that are developed where, if it's outdoors, as Leon is suggesting, then it has this very affirming and wonderful experience where you get your hands dirty. It's the same kind of experience, the tangibility that happens at an organization called Mani Jinji under the leadership of Lillian Masabenza. Getting your hands dirty, getting your hands occupied with both propagating, producing, growing, harvesting, selling produce. And we are interacting around this particular space because we think that we've got a long way to go. And I like the way that, Andre De Lang says that we are almost home. We're not there yet, but Lillian and Leon, in very tangible ways, are taking us to that particular place where we can say, we're getting closer to home. Let's listen to Andre De Lang in the background.
Madiba led us through the fire, but we are still not home yet. So many years on the way, but we are still not home. Where there's a smile for everyone, no matter what your tribe or where you come from, where children laugh and play, elders sing, praising the gifts of plenty harvest brings. Zonke nhlanga zonke wimi, each younger generation join in freedom celebration. We show the world we've come far, but we are still not home yet. We must go on walking as one, 'cause we are still not home. Where there's a smile for everyone.
I'm just listening a little bit here to Mitchell reflecting on what he thinks is such a beautiful set of collaborative possibilities that's emerging for you, Leon, and for Lillian. And so I was just saying, it's wonderful that you are in close proximity to each other and you've connected via Amsterdam. How cool is that? It's almost as if Leon and Lillian said, look, we don't want to meet yet. Let's meet via Amsterdam. And well,
That's true.
yeah. Mitchell was just saying that before I go there, this particular song again, to just talk a little bit about Andre De Lang. Would you say, Lillian, that his suggestion that we are still not home, it's an encouragement, but it's also an accurate, would you say, is it an accurate reflection of where we are, that we're not home yet?
Yes, I think it is true. But in a way, I take it as an encouragement that, yes, we are looking to be home, but we need to look at what is it, where we come from, what was there, what is it that we have done, what is it that we are doing now to get home, because that's where we would love to be. I have this, I love plants. So one of those plants, it's called yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's amazing that this plant has got the same flower. When it starts, it's about purplish. And then the second day, it becomes a little towards whitish. And the third day, it's pure white. So for me, Andre is just saying something that I believe in, that we start somewhere, we do something, we learn, we make mistakes. But in the end, it's about what is it that we would like to achieve? Who is there, the like-minded that we can collaborate with? You're right. Now I'm excited that I know Leon is just across the other side. And the more we do things together as like-minded, rather than doing things in silos, and not collaborating and not being holistic and not being integrated to look at if this problem, the body is a body that is made of parts. So it's any other thing. So if we don't look at that theory, that how do we approach that to look at if the hand is not happy, what do we need to do? Because the whole body will not be happy. Just to add to the model, sorry, just to finish, we use the model inside out. So what we do at Maniging's Center of Excellence, we then take it out to the community in that way. Thanks, Theo.
Thank you very, very much. And also thank you for reminding me again that I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I say gingy, but it's gingi. Thank you very, very much for that as well. So, Leon, now you know Lillian, and you will not be able to say that if I don't know her by now, I will never, never, ever know her. But but is it your sense, as well that we are making progress, we are on our way home? Is that both realistic acknowledgement that we are not there yet, but the positive persuasion that we are on our way?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question because I'm also a student of history, and I always say the only way we can undo our history is to shape the future, the way we're going to think and what we're going to do in the future, because history is there to haunt you, and we can see it in our communities. We have been haunted by our history, so the only way for me right now, practically, is the way to undo it is to plan for the future. And our children need to understand their role in this future. They need to understand their role in this Cape Town. I mean, this Cape Town, let's look at it. It's a World Heritage Site. What is? The flowers, the natural environment. We need to take care of it. And in that way, we go back to the land, not a physical land that we might own. I mean, Lillian talked about it. It's so difficult to get your hands on land that can be worked. But that mentality is so important. It starts in the soil. It goes up Table Mountain, a World Heritage Site, the smallest biome on earth, yet recognized as so, so valuable. The medicinal value in every plant out there. And that would be kind of finality. It sounds very limited if we say we're going home, but we should go home. This is our home. And if our children can be custodians of this home, then we have made huge strides. They are alienated, even living within kilometers of this World Heritage Site. They're alienated from it because they don't know it, they don't understand it.
Absolutely, and it is a metaphorical approach. I was just thinking now here. I wrote something down, and maybe this would be the title of your book, Leon. From from a haunted history to a hopeful future. Could that be a path that we would be taking? What do you hear when you hear both Lillian and Leon reflect on the sense that, okay, we are not there yet, but we are getting there, Mitchell?
Actually, I find this quite inspiring because sometimes when situations are difficult, it's easy to lose hope and then just give up. So the moment I hear that there are people who are inspiring and looking forward to a brighter future, it's really impressive for me and gives me strength also that let me get into the same inspiration. Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much for that. Lillian Masabenza, thank you so very, very much for joining us this morning. And for, I would want to say personally, thank you for flying into my orbit with your grace. We've not even talked about this journey, sometimes painful, but mostly glorious, especially for those who need it the most. Thank you for that legacy, and thank you for igniting our world with a sense of what is possible, even though there may be streams of impossibilities around. Leon, to you, we wish you very, very well as you carve out special moments for our young people. It's very, very crucial what you do, and we salute Sonaker under your and Ronel's leadership to inspire a new generation that on our way home, there's a soil to take care of and there's a soul to inspire. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
joining us at GreenTech. And we
Thank
appreciate
you
you.
for inviting us.
You are very, very welcome. Thank you so much, and goodbye to you for now.
Thank you.
I
Bye.
will shout.
Thank you, and good luck with the rest of your showing in Amsterdam. Thanks for inviting me. It's such an eye opener.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
Leon.
Thank you. Appreciated the opportunity. And it's moments like today that makes it easier to continue with our work. Thank you for the recognition.
You are very welcome. Mitchell, our guest here in the last part of this hour, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Okay.
Yes, thanks so much. And maybe my parting shot, I was just thinking about this value chain collaboration
Yes.
and thinking it's really important that like Lydian and what's
Leon.
and Leon, the names are almost the same. So it's easier collaboration then.
Yes.
That it's really important. I was speaking to one person about the success of vertical farming. What are the factors behind this?
Yes.
And one point that I got was that they are being open.
Yes.
So the failures of one individual, the others can learn from this.
Yes.
And this is different from what has happened in the other parts of the world,
Yes.
where they are a bit closed, and so there are no learning moments.
Right.
And then this has actually led to the collapse of many companies in the
That's a
vertical.
wonderful summation from a young wise man. It's an unusual combination, but to be young and wise. But thank you all the same to the youthful Lillian Masabenza and the ever youthful Leon Hanslow in Cape Town. Thank you for your time and have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. And please greet everyone around you from all of us here in Amsterdam. This is the Office van Rensburg Leinster for Learning Academy Worldwide, presenting live from GreenTech 2024 horticulture event in the capital of Holland on this wonderful day, the 13th of June. Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.